Hey everybody, this is Country Sherry. Today I'm going to be doing one of my stories of the true and strange events. Now this really doesn't have a beginning and an end. It's just a story about a home that Danny rented back years ago when we were courting. Now, he had come out of the Air Force, and so he, wanted a place, and we all lived back in the country, and he was used to living in a home that didn't have running water or a bathroom. They used a toilet. Some people call a privy, but we call them a toilet. And so anyway, the home that he rented, and it wasn't really, people thought I'd marry him and move in this house, but no, I was not going to be moving in that house, because it was an old house. It was really quite cute and made out funny, and had a little back porch. It was sort of made like an L, and like a capital L, and had different parts to it, and the kitchen was out to itself, and then you had to go through a bedroom to get to the kitchen. And anyway, it had an old painting in it, and of some of the people that had lived there. It was a woman, and it was in the living room, and you could swear that painting would look at you, and of course it didn't, I'm sure, but it felt like the eyes followed you. So anyway, I just had a bad feeling about the home anyways, because it was just very cold and very old feeling. And anyway, my friend, which was my husband's double first cousin, he was around the same age as Danny, so he would stay all night with him every now and then, being young men and stuff, because they'd be out late. He'd take me home from courting, and they'd get out and run around some more, or sit around and chat half a night. But anyway, Terry was there when Danny was out with me, so he was by himself. And so he's told me different tales about that house when he was there alone, and even when Danny was there. And Danny, he didn't pay attention to a whole lot of stuff. But one night, we were out, and so Terry was there by himself, and he said on the front porch there was this outside light. So he'd go outside on the front porch to smoke a cigarette, and that light would go off. So he'd go back in the house, and he'd come back on. And he'd done that 2 or 3 times. He'd go outside, and that light would go off, and he'd go back in the house. He'd come back on. So he really felt bad about that, and he didn't like that house. And you can ask Terry today, and he'll say yes, that house was haunted. One night they were sleeping. He was sleeping on the couch, and the bed that Dan had was in the living room. He hadn't put it back in that big bedroom there between the kitchen. So Terry was on the couch, Dan was in the bed, and the door just flung open. And so Terry jumped, and Danny just jumped up and shut the door, slammed it shut. Dan, he just sort of chuckled it off, and Terry, of course, he was kind of scared about it. But I guess he was glad Dan was there, because, 2 are braver than 1. Anyway, Danny, he didn't pay any attention to it at all. But I always said that I didn't like that house at all. And Terry will say, yeah, me neither, Sherry. That house is definitely something wrong with it. So anyway, it's kind of funny. It was kind of odd. And it did have kind of weird feeling. And I'd have dreams about that house. I dreamed that I was in that bedroom, walking through, going to the kitchen, and there was chairs that was slanging by like something had slung them at me. Oh, and I also forgot to tell you that Danny was aggravating me one evening. I was already scared of that house anyways, and that painting up there. I was trying to watch TV, and it was right above where the TV was. But anyway, I was sitting on the couch, and through my side vision, I kind of thought I saw something, and I went, no, that ain't nothing. But then I kept looking, and I saw something down on the ground, I thought, and I turned around, and it was Danny on his hands and knees trying to slip up on me just to aggravate me. Well, I screamed and jumped, and I was half mad at him. And so there's been a lot of weird stuff happen at that place. And so anyway, I thought you might enjoy that story, because it is a funny memory for me to remember. Hope everybody has a great day. See you next time at another story.